right, so I had a whole box of Flashfood tomatoes that we're not going to be able to eat before they start to go bad. So I'm going to can them. I'm going to be pressure canning them today. I'm going to do a raw pack in juice. I'll probably quarter them because some of these are quite big. So I just have my station set up here. So we are going to blanch them to get the skins off. We've got some cold water here to help peel. We'll have a container for the chickens and a container of tomatoes. This isn't going to be a huge batch. I'm guessing, sorry, I have a dog here that likes to be involved in everything. Maybe 6 pints. I'm probably do them in pints because I find that most of the recipes I'm doing, I'm just adding a can of tomatoes to. So that's the plan. And I'm going to be using the Presto electric pressure canner today. So I'll just waiting for this water to boil. And then once it's just about boiled, I'll start dipping tomatoes and getting the skins off. All right, I'll show you how I'm doing my little assembly line here. This is just coming back up to temperature. I just did my first batch. So I'm coring them before I blanch them. I just find it a little easier, and then you're not trying to core a hot tomato. So this bowl is going to the chickens. So I'm going to give them the cores and the skins. You can absolutely dehydrate the skins and grind them up and use them as like a tomato paste replacement or thickener for soups. However, for me personally, I find it's a texture thing. I know the peels have a certain texture that even when they're ground up, it doesn't appeal to me. I have done it before, but now I just rather give them to the chickens. So my water is boiling, and it helps if you kind of lower them in because you don't want to burn yourself. It will splash. And if your house is anything like mine, there's probably at least a kid and a pet in here with you. You don't want to splash them either. All right, that's probably good. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then I'll peel the ones. Then I'll peel the ones that have just been sitting in the cold water bath. I did throw some ice cubes in here just because we happen to have them, but you can absolutely just use tap water. And because those cores are already out, now we're good to go. And as I said, I'll probably quarter these. But for now, I'm just putting them in there. I'll core a couple more tomatoes as I wait for those to blanch. Oh, make sure you take your stickers off your tomatoes. My daughter usually does that part for me. But she is visiting her Nana and Papa today. So this represents about $5 worth of Flashfood. I got 2 boxes. Actually, they come in bags now, but I do find about the same amount comes in the paper bags as used to come in the cardboard boxes. It's just then you don't end up with the box. I like to use them to store my produce in from my garden. All right, so those skins are starting to split. So I'll just go ahead and scoop them. See, they're starting to split there. You know, they're going to slip off really easy. I probably could have taken these out a minute ago, but that one's really ready to come out. So then I'm going to let my water come back up to a boil. Same thing, skin these. Good tomatoes in there, chicken pile in there. And then probably by the time I'm done these, that's ready to have tomatoes go in it right now. So this isn't a long process. Pretty simple. All right. And then once I get these couple done, I'm just gonna put some fresh cold water in here because this water's getting pretty warm. All right, I'm just gonna keep on going along like this until we get them done. We probably got 2 batches left, so 5 batches altogether. Okay, so I just put my jars in and warm them up. So in the very beginning, you put on how long to pressure can for. Raw packed tomatoes in quarts is 25 minutes. I decided to do quarts instead of pints because I have a few more than I thought I did. So now I'm going to take the jars out of here. They are now warmed up. I'm going to pack my tomatoes in them to 1-inch headspace, and I'm just going to use their own juices. I'm not going to add hot water. Clean the rims and put the tops on. And I'm also going to add lemon juice and salt. So I'll swing it around so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so in each quart, we're going to put 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, 1 teaspoon of salt, and then we're just going to cram tomatoes in up to 1/2 inch headspace, which is about right here, but we also have our handy little tool, and that is 1/2 inch of headspace. Yeah, right around that second line there. All right, I'll get going on this. And when everything is full, we're going to add them back to the pressure canner and press start. All right, so I'm just going to cram these in, and that's it. I'll show you when I get my first one filled up. Okay, so there's our jars filled up to 1/2 inch headspace. I'm going to wipe the rims. It was a little messy when I did these, so it was 1/2 inch, right? Even though we're pressure canning? 1/2 inch, yeah. When you're pressure canning meats, it's usually 1 inch headspace. Now, when these come out of the canner, you're going to notice that the liquid and the solids have separated, but it's completely okay. I guarantee the cans you buy at the grocery store look the same. You just don't see them because they're not clear. Oh, all right. So rims are wiped, and we're just going to fill up our canner. And that pretty well made exactly 5 quarts. Okay, canner is filled up. It's just on filled jars. We're going to put our lid on without the regulator on. And now it's going to heat up to temperature, and then it's going to tell us when to add the regulator on. It's just this little thing, and you just add it to can. That's it. All right, well, I'm waiting for that pressure canner to come up to pressure to add the regulator. I just went ahead and got the skins off of these peaches. I know they look mangled, but they are not freestone peaches. They're clingstone peaches, so they don't look the prettiest, but they will still taste good. Got my lids ready to go. This is a light syrup. It's 1 cup sugar to 4 cups of water. That's what I'll be adding to my jars. I'll be doing these in pint jars, and they are going to be steam canned for, I believe, 25 minutes because I'm doing a raw pack. My jars are hot, my syrup is hot, but I'm not cooking the peaches in the syrup. That's why it's raw pack. So I'm just waiting for this to come up to temperature to dissolve that sugar. And while that's coming to a temperature, I'm going to bring over my jars. All right, my water is now boiled. My syrup is now boiled. So I'm going to go ahead and start filling these jars and getting them in the canner. Okay, so I accidentally didn't hit record when I was filling up my jars, but I filled up 4 jars. We got them in the canner, processed for 25 minutes, and the timer just went off for a 5-minute cool down. This is a freezer meal we're having tonight, so moment of truth. Woohoo, no broken jars. So it only ended up making 4 pints, but gosh, those look fantastic. So I'm just gonna take these out of this steam canner. So now we're done steam canning for the day. And I'm gonna put them over on the other counter because I want to have some room here to do some other prep work. And there's about 8 minutes left on the pressure canner. But then it has to cool down, and that takes usually at least an hour, sometimes an hour and a half. Yeah, and I'll show you when I have the tomatoes and everything out of the canner. All right, so there is everything processed and out of the canner. We did have a tiny bit of siphoning with the tomatoes, but not too bad. Still lots of liquid. And as these cool, the tomatoes will disperse a little more in the jars. So for the tomatoes, I ended up spending $5 at Flashfood and then a 29-cent service fee. The lemon juice cost me 56 cents. The lids were 94 cents and salt 3 cents. So it came out to $6.82 for the 5 jars or $1.36 per liter. I just went and looked quickly at Superstore, and the store price is $1.99 for the store brand PC or Blue Menu PC for the 798 milliliter. It's a slightly bigger jar, and we're using stuff that would have been wasted anyway. So with the same order, I also got a whole bunch of apples, plums, pears that the kids already ate. So this is kind of, it's almost like a bonus. So I spent $10.50 altogether. So I'm counting $7.50 of it for these items. So then the peaches through Flashfood, I put $2.50 and then the fee of 15 cents. So $2.65 for the peaches. I used 1 cup of sugar, which is 20 cents. I used 4 lids, which is 76 cents. So it comes out to 90 cents per 500 milliliter, or $3.61 for the whole batch for the 4 jars. When I looked on PC Express, they were $2.79 per 398 milliliter. So actually quite a bit cheaper to do the peaches this way. If Flashfood had all of one item, you could do this for much cheaper. Like they had a whole, 10-pound box of peaches for $5, etc. But they don't always have that. I find most oftentimes they are all mixed up. So a great way to use up some stuff before it goes bad and get it at the discount through the Flashfood app. And you do save a little bit of money canning it yourself. All right, thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye now.